Hi, Townview Music. We are continuing our rhythm practice here with a little bit of review and a little bit of new stuff. So you'll see in this measure right here in number 8, we have 4 quarter notes, 4 more quarter notes, quarter, 2/8, quarter, quarter, and a dotted half. If we look at the beginning of our time signature, we see the letter C. Now, some people think that when they see that, they're talking about the key of C, and that's a totally different C in music. This right here, that C is short for common time. And the most common time is 4/4. And so this is just an abbreviation for that. As a reminder, 4/4 means 4 beats per measure, and the quarter note gets the beat. So this quarter note would be worth a beat, that's worth a beat, that's worth a beat, and that's worth a beat. Our quarter notes would all be numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4. Our eighth notes would be 1 and, 2 and, so the number and the and. One more thing that's a little bit new about this is that at the very beginning of number 8, we don't have an entire measure. We only have one quarter note. And we just said that it takes 4 quarter notes to fill up a measure. When we have an incomplete measure at the beginning of a piece or the beginning of a section or the beginning of a phrase of music, we call that a pickup. The big fancy music term is anacrusis, but almost everyone refers to it as a pickup. So in this case, that incomplete measure doesn't get a measure number. It doesn't get all of its beats. We'll just say whatever is left there to count. In this case, it's the last fourth of the beat, the last quarter note of the beat, so we call it beat 4. So we'll start off with 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Take a few seconds to glance across that line. Remember that quarter notes are going to be worth a beat, eighth notes are going to be worth a portion of a beat, 1 and, so number and the half notes here, we have dots. And like we said in a previous video, a dot adds 50% of whatever that thing it's dotting. So in this case, a half note is worth 2 beats, and a dotted half note is worth 3. Take another second to finish glancing across the line, and we'll count it together. I'll count to 3. And then you come in on beat 4 at the beginning of that line. Ready? 1, 2, go. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, off. You might notice that at the end we only had a dotted half note, meaning we only had 3 beats. And this might seem a little strange because we're in 4/4. But very commonly, anything that starts with a pickup will be missing that value from the end. So in this case, we started with an extra quarter note. And so the last measure is short by a quarter note. And that happens very often in music. Let's look at number 9. We start with 3/4, like what we did before. We have a pickup, just like in the previous one. In this case, it's the last beat of 3/4. And so this won't be beat 4, it will be beat 3 that we start on. And then in our first complete measure, we have 1, 2, and 3, and. So even though they're joined together by that solid beam across the top, don't mistake those for 16th notes. Those are just 2 pairs of 8th notes. So the first complete measure will be 1, 2, and 3, and then we have a measure of quarter notes, 1, 2, 3. And then we have, like what we did at the beginning, 1, 2, and 3, and so on. Take a moment and look at the rest of that line before we count it together. We're starting with the pickup on beat 3. So I'll count to 2, and then you come in with me at beat 3. Here we go. 1, 2, go. 3, 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3, 1, off. And you'll notice at the end, just like in the previous one, we were short by 1 beat. Now take a moment to look at number 10. Number 10 is back into C, which means 4/4 common time. And look through the whole line. I won't give you any answers. We'll count it together. Now let's count. We're starting on beat 1 this time because there's no pickup. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, off. Hopefully you kept up with that. If not, you can always back the video up from the beginning or from a previous section and try again. One more. Now we're looking at 11. Much shorter, much simpler. Take 10 seconds to look at it. Now this time, you count it on your own first, and then we'll do it together. Your turn to see if you can do it on your own. 1, 2, ready, go. Hopefully you got that. Now let's try it together. Ready? And go. 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, off. Hopefully that's helpful. If need be, go back and rewatch it until you're solid with all of that rhythm counting.